With the release of 3.23 on the horizon, we could soon be seeing a few highly anticipated ships be added during Invictus, as well as a few ships that would probably come in 4.0. With focus being on completing all RSI ships within 12 months, with a lot of the work beginning in October of last year, if rumors are true, we could see some of the most sought after ships like the Apollo very soon. But could this popular ship miss the mark during its initial release due to the lack of depth in medical gameplay? And what other ships could possibly join alongside the Apollo during Fleet Week? In today's video, we'll discuss all of the potential upcoming ships that we could see during Invictus. If you're one of those diehard fans of the Apollo, or RSI ships in general, or just want to see more ships in game, smash that like button and be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement with the channel helps us gauge your interest in all things Star Citizen. And don't forget to subscribe for more clear, concise, and up-to-date content on Star Citizen and Sim Gear reviews. The Apollo is one of the most anticipated ships, due to its ability to be a mobile hospital capable of healing up to Tier 1 injuries, which currently requires a player to go to a landing zone or space station to heal up. There are two variants of the Apollo: the Medevac, which can have up to 2 Tier 1 beds, and the Triage, which can have 1 Tier 1 bed. Each variant will also have several different modules that will give you many different options to have a mix of Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 beds, such as the option to have 6 Tier 3 beds. This will give players plenty of choices and will allow them to specialize their ship to either be a dedicated hospital ship that can completely heal Tier 1 injuries, or a recovery vehicle that is capable of carrying as many patients as possible and able to stabilize each one of them so they can be transported to a station, landing zone, or larger ship. But why could the Apollo miss the mark by being released during Invictus? As we all know, medical gameplay is a pretty cool system, at least in my eyes, but it is lacking in many different ways and could just end up being a fancy bed where players can respawn or heal up and return to the front lines. While this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it does leave the Apollo feeling a little empty, at least for me. So how could the medical gameplay be better and give the Apollo more purpose over the next year? We know that no change happens quickly when it comes to Star Citizen, but let's dive deeper into some changes that I think could help. First, adding specialized equipment could further enhance medical gameplay and possibly create the beginning of medical staff roles. Some specialized equipment could be items such as surgical tools for healing more advanced injuries like broken bones, tension pneumothorax, and massive hemorrhaging. Medical gameplay could be given even more depth by requiring a player to stabilize injuries first with a med gun before using surgical equipment or operating the beds to return a patient to full health. Other equipment for stabilizing injuries could also be tourniquets in the future for missing limbs. What are your thoughts on the Apollo? Could we see it during Invictus? And what do you think would make medical gameplay even better than it is now? Let me know in the comments. Little is known about the Mirai Pulse, other than it will probably be a pretty fast racing grav-led bike that we will more than likely see when Misk and Mirai come to the convention hall. But why would the Pulse matter? This new addition would increase the overall selection for ground vehicles and give players something new to drive around on the surface of a planet, or for the grav-lev racing, or grav royale modes in Arena Commander. However, as this is unconfirmed, we probably won't get any information on the Mirai Pulse until we see it in Invictus. Now, there have been tons of rumors going around about a medical Ursa variant that would essentially fill the role of an ambulance, and this would more than likely provide a Tier 3 bed that would be capable of healing minor injuries and stabilizing more serious ones. I think this could be a really useful vehicle and would allow players to drive into distribution centers once more of the underground areas are opened up, and many other locations throughout the verse. What I would like to see is more gameplay options for using ground vehicles, as there aren't really many reasons to use them, outside of caves that you can drive in and the aforementioned underground sections of the distribution centers. More potential could be added to ground vehicles once server meshing is in by having large orgs take over locations in Stanton and setting up air defense around a location, but for that to really be viable, we need more reasons to fight over locations like caves, settlements, distribution centers, and underground facilities. Perhaps at some point, we'll see more rare minerals or loot in various locations that would encourage players to fight over controlling these locations. The Mirai Guardian was leaked some time ago, and it is a heavy fighter that is something akin to the Vanguard. This ship I would expect to be more maneuverable than most heavy fighters, but have less forward speed overall. And it also looks like it might pack a punch. This is a pretty unique looking ship that I feel would get a lot of attention if it comes to Invictus. The only thing that would be missing from Mirai after this would be a larger multi-crew ship. And given that they have a design language that's different than Misk, I feel a lot of players would be interested to see what an even larger ship would look like from Mirai. The Anvil Legionnaire is a medium boarding ship that has 8 jump seats, 2 remote turrets, and is capable of hacking into a ship or station once docked to force open the doors, and was one ship that I was hoping to see during Invictus this year, as most of the work is near completion. However, I don't expect to see it due to the simple fact that I think it will require further advancements in ship-to-ship docking and the addition of hacking gameplay for it to be more useful. Now, those requirements could be largely ignored temporarily if they really wanted to get it out for the 3.23.x patch, as it still would be used as a dedicated dropship until those features are implemented. I would love to see the ship in-game, with or without the hacking gameplay, as we really don't have very many smaller dropships that can be used. There's the Drake Steel and the Valkyrie, but that's about it. I don't consider the Hoplite or the Redeemer to be dropships, since in the Redeemer, the jump seats are in the upper level of the ship and require you to climb down the ladder. It also only has 4 jump seats. The Hoplite is lacking in quite a few categories in comparison, and I don't consider that to be a really good dropship, just one that does it all right. Now, the Legionnaire would provide an amazing dropship platform that would be great in pairs and allow players to quickly land, drop off Marines, and take off in a matter of seconds. This ship is arguably one of my favorites, and my most anticipated alongside the following 2 ships. What I will say is that I really hope that this ship is released for Invictus, but I highly doubt this ship will drop soon. The RSI Zeus Mark II is the next on my list of the most anticipated ships, and I would be shocked if it wasn't released in 3.23 during Invictus. This amazing ship has 2 size 4 weapons mounted to the front of the ship, and 1 size 3 remote turret mounted to its underbelly with 32 SEU cargo space for the ES model. The Zeus has 2 other confirmed variants, the bounty hunting variant MR, and the cargo hauling variant CL. There were also leaks of a racing variant, the ST, but we haven't seen or heard anything else since then. And all of them come with different loadouts and features that make them unique to different roles. The Zeus would add yet another unique medium ship that would bring more multi-crew gameplay to players and would be one of the best overall ships for a small group of friends. With the resource network coming further along in the experimental Arena Commander, this would add a ton of gameplay to the Zeus and many other medium and large ships that would give players more of a reason to play with friends. Now, the biggest and most exciting ships out of all of these is the Polaris. This Corvette-class capital ship has 5 size 4-man turrets, 1 size 5 remote turret, 1 size 4 automated turret, 2 size 2 anti-fighter missile pods, and 4 size 10 torpedo tubes. This thing is armed to the teeth and would be the first real capital ship that would possibly be released during Invictus. It also has a hangar bay that is capable of carrying a Gladius or Saber. This ship could really begin to paint a picture of the future of capital ship combat by giving us the ability to test fleet composition and the effectiveness of its weapons, platform, and capability. And with server meshing potentially adding anywhere from 400 to 800 players in a shard, this could make for some really massive org versus org battles in the PU once we get our hands on it. Now, I am really excited to see the Polaris in game, and I believe it will be one of the best capital ships ever, and cannot wait to get my hands on it. And once the resource network is added as well, it will begin adding even more roles on board the ship for the rest of the crew. Now, there are some issues currently with the resource network that need to be fixed and refined, but it will get better over time, just like everything else. For example, right now, force reactions are clearly one of the most painful parts of the resource network and inhibit the player's ability to repair components and replace items effectively while the ship is moving and getting hit by enemy fire. While force reactions are an interesting concept, I feel as if multi-crew ships should have inertial dampers to prevent our characters from stumbling or being knocked over. Enemy ships ramming your ship of course should cause you to lose your balance and stumble or fall to the floor, but it shouldn't occur during heavy maneuvering, let alone light maneuvering. So I hope this is changed very soon. With so many ships coming to the PU in the next 6 months, there are a lot of other gameplay features that are needed to give these ships more of a purpose, but with each release coming out, things are beginning to slowly get better as the years go by. And with 4.0 inching ever closer, and talks of 1.0 being brought up, I hope that many more gameplay loops are added, more bugs are fixed, and further polishing is done in each patch. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments below what your favorite ship is. Don't forget to join our community by subscribing to this channel, where you'll be provided clear and concise news and updates on Star Citizen and reviews of some of the best gear and peripherals in the sim and gaming market. If you want to join our channel and support the creation of these videos, then consider becoming a member and get special perks such as loyalty badges, priority replies, and more. And if you want more information on what I think is going to be the next 3 systems after Stanton and Pyro, then you'll want to check out this video. Fly safe, pilots, and I will see you in the next video. Havoc out.